Welcome back to another episode of the Coach Steve Show podcast. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Leave a comment in the comment section down below to help get the conversation going, get the videos out there, get everything out there. Please follow and rate it wherever you get your podcast. Please rate it on iTunes and Apple. It helps grow this tremendously. I can't thank anybody enough that's done that. Really, it helps grow it. So if you can do that for me, please and thank you. Welcome back. We are diving back into some football topics. We're going to go back into our simple offensive segment, simple spread offense, simple offense, whatever we want to call it, to discuss different things in offense for youth football coaches, maybe new high school coaches, or maybe you're already a coach and you're watching this and you get some type of little nugget out of it. So we are continuing on with our simple offensive segment of the podcast. So let's talk about motions. Offensive use motions all the time. Hopefully it's a way to eye candy plays for your offense. And it depends on what type of offense you run and what terminology you use. There are some different terminologies that could be used for motion. So let's talk about different terminologies. Why can they be used? And hopefully you guys get something out of that. So today we're going to talk about type of different motions you can use in offense. Again, I'm going for a spread, but we'll condense it, and you could see from wing positions to slot positions. So let's get into what I've been around in motions and what I would call them. Okay, so we're going to talk about motions and why they're using football. They're using football to get the defense to look at the motion, and you're doing something different, whether it's misdirection, where you want to get into a different formation. So if you notice they line up a certain way to a trips formation or a 2x2 formation or two-back formation, and you want to get guys into the backfield, move to complete the formation, it is eye candy to set things up. So, of course, as an offensive guy, we start off in 2x2. So right here, if you guys watch the other videos, this would be like a spread right or a doubles. So X and H on the left side, running back in the backfield, Y and Z on the right side. So different motions that I have used or have seen. So let's say you're in a 2x2 and you want to get into a 3x1. So right here, because this formation you're watching the video, the Y is on. So to be easy, you wouldn't motion him, okay, into this. So if you want to get into a trip set, you could use different formations to get them across. What I mean by that is you would call Z. I've just literally seen Z motion. So Z motion him all the way over. If you practice a certain play and they recognize that it's a certain play, he would just come over and get set. So he would just motion over and get set. It's just literally been called motion. You could call it motion. It depends on what type of simple offense you are. I have also seen this in the air raid terms, move. Now, when they use move, they usually use slot for my observations of outside looking in. So you could say Z move. If you had the H in here move, it would be called H move. It's just moving them across to set up another formation. So you're setting it up to be a trips left out of this. If you wanted the H to do it, it would just be H move. So then the H would be the one formation and go over into your trips look, which is probably depending how your trips is set up. Like we talked about, if Y is on the inside and H is always on the inside, or if Y is in the middle and H is your third receiver and your Z is your number one receiver, and you want to get into the trips right, you could call H move. I have also seen this called and have used fly motion. This could be called fly motion to get set up. I've also seen this called zoom motion to get them over, and jet. Now, I've used jet before, but some people will go against this and say they don't want to call it jet because a jet motion could be their fake to get a shuffle pass, could be a fake, some type of read with the quarterback, but just to move across the formation and get set up necessarily, they can call move, you can call jet, you call zoom. Another thing you can use this type of formation with is to not even get set up across field. So this is why practicing these motions and understanding what type of play we're doing. So for me, you can almost have two different words. If you want it to be zoom, zooms all the way across and gets set. If you want it to be jet, and this is where you snap the ball. Now, the reason why you'd snap the ball before the play, a couple of reasons. One, you're going to have the motion, and maybe part of the route progression is a little shoot arrow out route, because maybe you're running flood, maybe you're running, some type of shallow route, and now X is running a shallow, or Y is running a shallow, and he's got the dig behind it, or driving, whatever your play is. That could be a reason. Another reason why you might snap the ball, if you're moving across, is maybe they're blocking. You're running some type of jet thing. He's jetting over. The running back can get the ball. So if you're here and you're running maybe some type of power replay, or maybe you're literally just handing the ball off to the running back down down the line, it's just adding an extra blocker. You can get this cross block. They're going out the Y's blocking, and Z's blocking the corner. These are just different ways that you could do, and that's why you have to practice them. So there's certain plays. If it's a certain pass play and they know that that's not a flat route, you want to get set up in a formation. If it's literally just running an out route or an arrow route to the sideline, you can just snap the ball early, but you have to make that distinction. So move could be where they get set up. Zoom could be where it's going to be snapped. Jet could be where it's snapped or gets up, and whatever you want. But those are different challenges when you're just going across the line of scrimmage or just going to the other side. When you want to motion and fake with the quarterback, that's where I've seen jet and I've seen a joker. So that means that the person is going to do something with the quarterback. So one of the most popular ones, well, I don't know if it's most popular, but the one I've seen the most is if we're on our 2x2 set and you say, okay, Z joker or Z jet, then you're running a power read left. So the quarterback knows, excuse me, that he's going to be meshing with the jet guy or the fly or whatever you want to call it. So they are motioning, but they're trying to get even with the quarterback and make sure they can't go forward. Ball is snapped. You could have your running back out here blocking, H blocking, X blocking, and then you're meshing with the Z, and then the quarterback can decide to keep it or give it because we're excuse me, we are gap down backer, hinging, even though I know some people are cringing at this because it's, not real power, but it's power read. You pull the guard, he's coming up or reading an end out here. I know I don't have the defense drawn up, but this is a way to get the ball outside with a couple blockers because you're motioning. You could do inside zone off of this. You could go joker, zoom, or fly motion, jet motion, whichever one you want to call it. And you can call bash out of this. So then up front, they're running inside zone left or inside zone right, excuse me. If you're going Z this way, they're blocking inside zone. Quarterback's reading the end. If he's coming in really hard, he's handing it off. He's following the blockers. If he's sitting there, he just follows it. Those type of things. So that's why you have to distinguish your motions. And I think you have to have your motions, in my opinion, able to go with any player because it just keeps defenses on their toes. So right out of this formation, we can motion the Z to do this. We can even go H, joker motion, however you want to call it, say joker or jet. So that way they come up here and they're doing some type of motion. And this could be your shuffle pass. So the zooms and stuff, the move to get them across. This motion could be, jet and then your shuffle pass. So he's jetting, boom, he knows he's getting the ball. Joker could be fake. You want to keep motions very, very simple for your players. And you want to be able to use different players so that way they never really know where the motion's going. And if you can do your motions off of different run plays or anything like that, it just sets up way more for your offense. So continuing on this, then other motions that you can have, those are the ones that are going across the field and they're coming up to the quarterback. And then make sure they don't go forward. They're coming flat and they coming up to the quarterback. Other type of motions. Now, these can be used out of wing spots. They can be used out of anything else. So right here, if we're in a trips right, and we're just going by Y's in the middle, we got our H as our number 3 receiver, Y is number 2, Z number 1. You can call this different things. For me, I've seen this called orbit motion. I've seen this called ghost motion. This is, again, you noticed how they can just be called things. I've seen fly motion, but I've seen comet. So this one to me is orbit or comet. So here's what this is. This is where they kind of come towards the line. Then they start to go in a circle behind the quarterback. This is where your option plays come out. This is where you're just trying to get them to move this way. Maybe not even running option. You're running this way, setting a screen up or anything like that. So this could be like an H orbit, H comet. And this is where you may not even do anything with them. It just depends on the play. If you're running a zone play out of this, so right here, if you call like H orbit inside zone right, it's letting the quarterback know, hey, up front, they're running inside zone right. Running backs might get the ball, might not get the ball. If this end crashes in really hard and the quarterback pulls it like he is taught to on inside zone anyway. Well, now he knows that we can maybe run triple option game out of this. So then after he reads that end, if a linebacker comes flying up, that's the pitch key. He can pitch it. And then you've got this X receiver out here blocking. This is where that triple option type of thing can come from, a spread type of look. You know, people talk about pistol option game. This is where all that can come out of this. You can even probably just run straight triple out of this. You know, again, motions. We'll get into option plays later, how to block and everything. But again, we're not going to get too deep, just these motions and what they could be used for. You could go H orbit, you know, option left, and then this guy's blocking and stuff. We won't get too deep with it. And then he's running a triple option following it and all that stuff. So orbit motion. And then once you do that a couple times, you know, if you're on a spread, if you have a wing, so let's say we go wing left. Now the H is here. The X and H are on the left side. Z's on the right side on line of scrimmage. Y is your wing. Now you can still do it. All these motions can be done the same. That's why if each motion has their own definition of what it is, and each player knows that they can do this. So out of this wing, you could start off as a wing. You can still go in your 10 personnel, put them in a wing spot, and say, okay, Y zoom or Y jet or Y fly, whatever you want to call it, and he gets set up from there. So now that you don't have to sub, you know, you can keep your 10 personnel. They see this, they're going to bring a linebacker down. You're going to out here, you're going to get him probably one-on-one with a linebacker, just different things. So you do that out of here. But out of this wing, you can still go orbit. So they're coming around. However you want to do it. Wing T, triple option guys are probably mad. They're kind of coming towards him and getting back here. Make sure there's depth in between him and the quarterback. And again, not just triple option. He could run a route, motion him this way. It's pass play, and see, you could run, you know, your stick concept out of this from the air raid, you know, and see if he's going to go with the flat defender. He's running a mandatory outside release. Running back then could stay in and block. You could call something else. You can call a dig on this side and a swing route to get that linebacker. Just different things that you could do with this motion. That's why it's good to have eye candy on this stuff. So you can go orbit. So then you're doing that a couple times. You can call, some people actually call, if you call that comet, then some people call this orbit, where they start their motion, ball snapped, and then they come back where they came from. So this is where, again, we'll talk more triple option later on in a simple offense. This is where you have the running back on the same side, and you could fake option that way. You can have them come back and set a screen. So if you redo this and you go wing trips right, so now we got three receivers on one side, the Y, the H, and the Z. And you're running back on the left. You could run two screens out of this, and this is why motions are great. So you're running that motion, boom, he plants his foot, comes back. You could throw the ball, fake it, whatever, but they could run, block, and you could throw it because they're inside the box when you motion. Do they shift over and you see that? So you have the orbit motion, and you can call this ghost. You can call it orbit all the way through and then call this comet. You can call comet where it goes all the way around, then orbit, and then he's coming back because they go together. Doesn't matter. But again, different motions set up different things, and make sure that everybody knows exactly what does what, so your players are very versatile in what they can do. Last couple here. So we're going to go 2x2. The Y's on the left side. So this could be like a spread left or doubles left or whatever, just straight doubles. So you've seen people on TV, they want to get into empty. They start off here because they're going to be their 10 personnel. Hopefully they get a running back one-on-one with a linebacker. So how do you get them out there? You could just say, you know, running backs can have different ones. You could say, you can call settle, you can call travel, you can call tear, you can call, you know, whatever. So if you say travel left, maybe that's where he just kind of comes up and says, okay, you want him an empty left? He comes up here and sits. Comes up here and sits. You could say that from that position. If you want to say travel left or right, he comes up from here and travels here. Either one. Either one. So he could sit there, do whatever that he needs to do. So that way you're getting to your empty to hopefully get him one-on-one with a linebacker. Okay, so let's say you're in an empty already, and the defense had come up and shown pressure. So you're gonna get a lot of pressure, more than what your five linemen can do. I would call this sit. So if you did like a check with me or the quarterback did or whatever, you could say like T sit. So now you're going to motion him back into the backfield so that way he can sit there. So now quarterback can look at him and say sit. Or you can flip flop when you want him going to empty, you call it T sit. If you want to get another running back in again, H sit is telling him, hey, we're going to come back in the backfield and sit. So he's motioning back here. So by the time it's over, he's getting to your green or your 2x2. So you could say, like if you did check, you can go like H sit, and he's coming back. Quarterback knows that. So then keep his, and then it changes. So they understand. So they understand what they're doing. So you could be in a different personnel group. So you can go in your 20 personnel, tell them to line up in this, but you're really going to motion back. So that, again, just to mess with substitutions, to mess with their going, to mess with type of play you're going to do, and all that good stuff. And then from here, obviously, you could still motion your running backs. Running backs can have their own, or you can use the same. Right out of this, if you want to call H, we're in a, for you guys listening, we're in a 2x2, or excuse me, we're in a 2x1 with two running backs in the back. So we're in 20 personnel. H and T are in the backfield. So you could still call H orbit. It's already there. It's just quick step, bam, snap the ball, and then we're off and running with whatever we're doing. You could call orbit motion on the play. If he's running a screen, boom, we're off. You could call H zoom right or left, whichever way you want him to go. So if it's H zoom right, boom, there. Again, depending on the play, if you want him to go and you want running backs just have their own. So in the backfield, they know they have like a tear motion, so it's quick. If you want to call it travel, he's going the opposite way. You can do that. You can have wide receivers just have their own, and whoever plays up there has their own. Running backs have their own, and you have different names, and make sure they main sets travel because they're traveling farther, tear because it's quick. When you tear something, it's pretty quick. Zoom across, it move across, anything like that. So these are 4 different motions, informations for different plays to get you into different formations or just certain plays. It's eye candy for the defense, keeps them on their toes, looks a little confusing to them, but keep it simple. And that is it for the motions. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. Make sure that you guys hit the like button and the subscribe button on the YouTube page. Give it a rating on Apple and iTunes. Again, hopefully somebody got something out of this. This is for new coaches, youth coaches, or maybe somebody just gets something out of it in general. So those are different motions. Be on the lookout for still summer ball talk stuff, topics that are coming out. More simple offensive videos, simple defensive videos, talks with other coaches. You want to be on the podcast, leave a comment or shoot me a message at coach_Steve72 is the Twitter. Do that for me, please, and thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And we will see you next time.